Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy.
All right, folks, here we are on Thursday, March 14th. We're going to take a look at BLNK today. So with earnings coming up, I thought we'd come and take a look and see where BLNK might hit some support or resistance, whether it flies or dies, and of course, some levels that it might sort of hug if it does move relatively sideways. Now we see the extreme drawdown here over time. BLNK has been just one of those wild ones, price-wise and percentage gain and loss-wise. And so, I tried to put in a relatively big range here that left us with what I feel at the moment, at least, are the strongest levels on the chart. So just know there might be some more granular levels in between these, especially the ones that are sort of spread out. But I tried to put in what I felt were the strongest ones, cover a large price range because this can be quite volatile, and do all that while not complicating the chart by overcrowding it. So we stretch here from, as you see, about 224, 225, all the way up to 652. So basically 2.25 to 6.5 is the range. Now, situated right now at 337, at least while we're recording this video, the nearest in level is 347. 348, depending on if you want to round up these fraction of pennies. It always annoys me when we have the fractions of pennies to deal with. But in any case, 347, the nearest in level that I have right now. So if it does move relatively sideways and it stays about where the price is right now, that might be a level to kind of keep an eye on. To the downside, if it does just do sort of a slight, relatively speaking, a slight downturn, 294. If it does then continue on in, one big reaction over the coming days and weeks, 276, 239, and then 224. You, of course, then see that 218, one tick low there as well, that if it dips below that 224, that would be the next obvious place to kind of look. Now, if it does push off of earnings, 398, so that approach to 4 would be sort of a potential resistance level, and then 448, 486, 532, and then there's a level here for sure at about 590, but I had one up here. I just sort of tried to pin kind of a higher range level at 652 in case it sort of gets some tailwind and it runs and we don't check in on it for a while. At least I thought that sort of like marker would be there, but like I say, there's something here around, say, 589, 590, just FYI. All right, so on the Thinkorswim side of things, it is triggering on the TTM squeeze indicator going into earnings. It's been relatively tight to the mid-range of the channel. Hasn't been exactly just sort of pinning itself to it. It's, fluttered above a few times. So seemingly trying to get some lift off of support on the mid-range of the channel, but nothing sort of explosive happening at the moment. We'll see how that kind of takes shape as we get the actual report itself and how the market sort of takes into account this recent, slight uptick versus the long-term extreme drawdown. And of course, then the nuts and bolts of the report itself. So if it does stay within the channel, 361 to the upside, 258 to the downside, at least for now. 310 is in the middle at the moment. And like I said, it is triggering as we're headed into earnings and as the price is, within an earshot of the mid-range of the channel. So interesting to see if sort of all of those come together to give us a nice explosive move. That could be interesting. Now, the question is always, which way does it go? It's going to largely depend on, obviously the actual what's in the report itself. Is it good news? Is it bad news? Is it sort of on par news? And then, of course, how the market digests that. Like I said, do they feel like this recent uptick was warranted or not? That could influence the decision. Do they feel like this extreme long-term downtrend is warranted based off of what they see or not? And those things will of course come together, the actual report itself, and then the sentiment around what that report means in order to sort of bring together the reaction. And we'll see what that amounts to soon enough. All right, folks. I hope that your week has been going well, and as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.